Years passed, and the story of Amara spread far beyond the borders of Zandera and Oloma. Her name became a legend, sung by poets and chronicled in history. They called her Amara of the Curves, for it was her figure, her unmatched strength, and her wise heart that brought an end to the war. She was not just a healer or a woman of beauty. She was a living embodiment of peace, the very force that had united two once warring nations. Amara's influence reached across other kingdoms and villages. Soon, people from distant lands sought her wisdom, hoping to learn the secret of how she had brought peace between two fierce enemies. But Amara, ever humble, simply smiled and told them, "Peace is not a gift to be given. It is a choice, a way of being. And sometimes, all it takes is recognizing the strength that lives in each of us and learning to honor it." Her life, now intertwined with the history of both kingdoms, became a tale not just of beauty but of transformation. In the years that followed, Amara became an advisor to the rulers of both Zandera and Oloma. Her wisdom shaped new policies, promoting cooperation and shared resources. There was no more fighting over land, and the people of both kingdoms began to work together in ways they never had before. But it was not just in the courts that Amara's influence was felt. She founded schools of healing and wisdom, where men and women alike were taught to care for the earth and each other. Her teachings emphasized the importance of harmony between body, mind, and spirit, and she helped foster a generation that understood that true strength lay in empathy and understanding, not in conquest. One day, as the sun set over the horizon, casting golden light across the lands, Amara stood on a hill overlooking the fields that stretched out between Zandera and Oloma. The crops grew lush, the rivers ran clear, and the people worked together in peace. The land itself seemed to be alive, humming with a vitality it had not known in generations. Amara's heart swelled with pride, not for her role in the peace, but for the people who had embraced it. She knew her physical presence had sparked the change, but it was the hearts and minds of the people that had kept it alive. As long as they remembered the lesson of the curves, the lesson that strength and beauty come in many forms, but true power lies in connection, there would be no more war, only shared prosperity. Years later, when Amara grew old and knew her time was nearing its end, she returned to the same hill where she had once stood as a young woman, watching the kingdoms flourish beneath the golden sun. Her once curved figure had softened with age, but the wisdom in her eyes remained sharp, and her heart was full of peace. She sat on the hilltop, surrounded by the people she had helped to guide, the rulers she had served, and the many children who would grow up knowing only peace. They honored her with a great celebration, a feast that spanned the borders of both kingdoms, where music filled the air and laughter echoed across the fields. It was during this feast that Amara shared her final words. She spoke not of her own journey, but of the future she had seen in the eyes of the young ones, the next generation who would continue the work of unity and peace. "The land is not ours to own," she said softly, her voice carrying across the gathering. "It is a gift, a shared responsibility. And if we ever forget that, we risk losing the harmony that binds us. Always remember, true strength comes not from the size of your muscles or the shape of your body, but from the way you treat others. It is in your kindness, your wisdom, and your ability to listen. These are the curves of the world, the ones that bring life, that create peace." With those words, Amara closed her eyes and breathed her last. Her passing was met with sorrow, but her legacy lived on, passed down through stories and songs, through the way the people of Zandera and Oloma continued to work together in harmony. The land, blessed by Amara's wisdom, continued to thrive, and the kingdoms, now united as one, never again knew war. As for Amara's curves, they remained immortal in the hearts of all who knew her. They were no longer just a physical feature. They became a symbol of peace, of strength, of the fertile land that nourished all who walked upon it. And so, Amara of the Curves was forever remembered as the woman whose presence, strong, wise, and beautiful, had ended a war and ushered in an era of peace for all.